Hello and welcome to Cupcake Addiction's coloured sanding sugar tutorial, where I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful coloured sanding sugar at home. Tools and equipment that we will be using today: I've got a baking tray and just a piece of greaseproof wax or baking paper. I've got a half a cup of caster sugar. So caster sugar is your really fine sugar, not powdered, just the finest baking sugar you can find. I've got some food colouring. I'm going to use liquid food colouring and mine's just blue today. I've got a Ziplock bag. I'm going to use this great little scraper. If you don't have one of these, you can just use a knife, but I find the scraper's a little bit easier to use. And I've got a nice big rolling pin. Let's get started. The first thing we want to do is empty our sugar into our Ziplock bag. Now, you will have seen me use sanding sugar in a couple of my tutorials, and it's a great way to get a really nice effect that you can make yourself at home. So if you don't have the right colour sprinkles, you can just whip yourself up some sanding sugar. So pop that sugar in a bag, your Ziplock bag, take your colouring, and we're just going to put 1 capful of liquid colouring. You can also use colour paste, but I find it easier to mix through a liquid colouring. I find the colour paste sometimes gets a little bit chunky in there and it's hard to mix it all the way through. Give that bag a really good shake around, and you'll see there, as your colour gets coated, you just need to push it down. We basically just want to mix all of that colour through. Alright, so you can see there that gorgeous colour has now mixed all the way through. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop our sugar onto that baking tray. Just kind of dump it on. Obviously, if you want a paler colour or a pastel colour, you would just use less of that food colouring. I wanted quite deep colours for my sanding sugars. Now I'm going to take either your knife or my scraper, and I'm just going to kind of chop it around so that I've got one nice even layer. Alright, so I've got my nice even layer, and the reason I've done that is so that we don't have one big mountain of sanding sugar in the middle. So I've preheated my oven to 50 degrees Celsius or 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to pop this into the oven for 10 minutes. Alright, so that's had 10 minutes in the oven. Now don't be tempted to put any more heat into it than just that 50 degrees Celsius or 120 degrees Fahrenheit, because you will melt it and it will turn into kind of a glass, but it should have a little bit of a sparkle to it. And you can see here it's kind of stuck together in kind of clumps, so that's where our little scraper, our knife, comes in again. Just break it up. And what we've done by cooking it in the oven is we've not only taken the moisture out of it, which would have been put in there by the liquid food colouring, but we've also given it a little bit of a shimmer. So it's kind of got a little bit of a sparkle to it. Lift up your baking paper and pour it in. Now, you want to let as much of the air out of that Ziplock bag as you can. Make sure that you do zip it all the way up. And you'll see here you've got your little kind of blue chunks in that bag. So this is where your rolling pin comes in. We're just going to roll it back and forth until it's beautiful and fine, back to that sugary consistency. But now it's a great shade of blue. If you've loved this tutorial, please make sure that you head over to our channel MyCupcakeAddiction and hit the subscribe button, and we will show you a bunch of ways that you can use this fantastic sanding sugar. In a nutshell, there you have your gorgeous blue sanding sugar. We'll tip that into a nice little container. You can see there in an array of colours. As I said, you can make them pastels, you can make them brights, you can make them absolutely any colour you like. As always, I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and thanks very much for watching.